Hey y'all, how y'all doing? It's your girl Ruth. Welcome back. Hey y'all, I found this book, okay, Boss Up, and I've been wanting to read it. And you know, the funny thing is, being a Libra, a relationship sign, you always got to relate. So I would like to read it with y'all if y'all want to. I think he got a lot of good things in it. And then they gave my North Node and Leo. So yeah, I'm gonna read some. If y'all want to kick back and read, I know it's a Friday. Is it Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. Anyway, um, let's get started. If y'all want to hear, it says the right kind of mom. Have you seen the movie About Time? It's one of my favorites. There's a scene in the movie where the aging sick dad is standing in front of his adult son, and the father gets to choose any time his life, in his life to relive. The moment he chooses, let me get comfortable. Okay. The moment he chooses, and put it where y'all can see that. Let me see if it turn everything. Yeah, my friends. Anyway, it says the moment he chooses reduces me to a puddle of tears because I know it's the scene each and every one of us would choose. The father chooses to go back in time, relive an afternoon at the beach with his adolescent son. Put my little cigarettes over here. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, hey, um, they're running around, playing, laughing, and not doing anything particular, especially except spending time together. Insert ugly cry. I don't know about you guys, but to me, being a mother is really hard. It's hard in every way possible, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But inside all those really hard moments live the most joy and love of a human can feel. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Um, I can feel totally beat down by motherhood all day, and then 5 minutes after my kids are asleep, I'll miss them. I live for the vacations away from just my husband. I live for the vacations away with just my husband. Yet about 3 days in, I wish my three girls were there too. Parenthood is a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, and it's meant to be that way. Yeah, I know I was like that with my kids. The years when my girls were under 5 were particularly challenging for me. Now that they are 10, 10, and 8, I enjoy being around them a little more, mostly because of the conversations we can now have, and them being a little older. Yet there are times when along for the days when they fall asleep on my chest, or would hand me fistfuls of weeds picked by the sweetest, coveriest little toddler hands. At times I tickled into thinking I could have a whole bunch more kids. Then I realized how often I utter the phrase, "This is why we can't have nice things." And I very quickly changed my mind. Don't get me wrong, after my husband, I love my three daughters more than anything in my life. If she says after her husband, it's uh, this been said. I don't know if this is the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. Because when a woman have a child, they say you're not supposed to put your kids for your spouse. Because when the kids get ready to go away from home, you're still supposed to have your spouse there. So I'm assuming it's a relationship where the spouse actually cares, okay? And you actually get along where y'all can talk about anything. Anyway, um, after my husband, I love my three daughters more than anything in my life. If given a choice, I'd take a bullet to the head for any of them. And yet sometimes I don't like being around them. Sometimes they drive me insane. Even as I sit down to write this chapter, I'm sitting on the couch with my three children running up and down the hall in plastic high heels, playing with remote control, my little pony cars that make so much repeated noise on the screen. I will actually cut you in my crazy white lady voice. She being real in the mud. I'm not the picture perfect mother, and my kids are far from perfect. One proof, let me just make you a quick list. I've been known to use the iPad as a babysitter. My girls sometimes struggle in school. One of them is afraid of any weather pattern that doesn't involve cloudless sunshine. Another can talk almost anyone into giving her what she wants, and she knows it. I'm 100% positive that one of them has a hearing problem, despite the fact that we've had her checked, because it is physically impossible for her to listen to my directions the first time around. I am not the homeroom mom. I take a lot of pride in beating my kids at board games. I hate doing laundry and cleaning up after my kids' messes. I sometimes yell at my kids when I get frustrated. I love Jesus, but sometimes I curse in front of my kids. I buy sugar cereals and fruit snacks at the store, even though I know they're not healthy because, frankly, I value silence. So, no, I'm not a perfect mom, but I am good enough, and good enough is enough. You know why? Because I love my kids more than life itself. I give up everything for them, even my business if I had to. The good news, though, is that I don't have to choose. And if you're a mom like me, you don't have to choose either. You can both, you can be both an amazing business partner and a kick-ass mom. Hello. You're doing it right. There are a lot of different kinds of mothers for the intents and purposes for the intents and purposes of this book. We're going to focus on two different types of moms. The two types cannot be compared and are not to be judged for the way they are. They can both be great moms their own way. They are just designed differently. You may even find yourself hovering between both kinds of moms, and that's okay too. You get to choose the kind of mom and the kind of business owner you want to be. Bottom line, it's okay. You're doing it right. Stop worrying. There is no right kind of mom. The first kind of mom is like my sister-in-law, Brittany. This is the woman who likely always wanted to have kids and is deeply fulfilled by doing the good work of being a parent. Her kids came into her life and they changed her in the best way possible, in the way she's always dreamed. They gave her life purpose, meaning, and weight. And from the time they arrived, she knew that momming was her calling in life. Sure, she sometimes gets frustrated and wishes her kids slept through the night, but overall, she reveals in the parenting role. She actually enjoys being a homeroom mom. She gets a kick out of taking care of the kids at the house, directing activities and keeping everything running smoothly. She takes pride in her contributions to the household. She loves her job as a mom and thrives in her daily schedule with the kids. She reveals in watching her kids grow up and develop and doesn't want to miss a moment of it. This kind of woman was made to be a stay at home mom. God loved her. She was designed for mommy. As she's working in the way God created her. And then there's a second kind of mom, the one who's like me, the kind who was excited to have kids and thought they changed her. She thought that her life would be given purpose and weight once they were placed in her arms at the hospital. All her dreams and desires were turned with ease toward her kid. that she thrived during the midnight feelings and science fair projects, but it didn't happen. Instead, she had to admit to herself that she needed more. The dreams and desires she had before motherhood hadn't gone away. She loves her kids, but she can't shake the feeling that she was made for something else too. She wants to work in the way God created her, so she seeks out a job or a career of some kind. She's a better mother is when she gets a chance to use her gifts and talents in ways that don't specifically relate to her home. God love her. She was made to be a working mom. If you're reading this book, I'm going to assume it's because you can relate to this second type of mom. You share this desire to work. If you're like me, you're also drawn to the idea of working from home and having your own business, and you want to find a way to make that business profitable. This does not mean you aren't cut out to be a mom. On the contrary, I think moms are often amazing businesswomen with the capability to do so much to improve the world we live in through their products and their personalities. So, what I don't want you to do right now is compare your path to the path of a different type of mom. One thing I know for certain is that some moms want to put all their focus on their home and kids. Some want to work outside home. Some want to build businesses of their own. And none of these choices are wrong. All contributed to the family, just in different ways. I agree with Comparing yourself to other moms is discouraging, pointless, and counterproductive. But we do it, don't we? All the time. It's hard. It's a hard habit to kick. The comparison game. Is there a certain mom you notice personally or follow on social media who just seems perfect in every way? She has a 1 billion followers. Her house is perfectly um, curated in that boohoo. I didn't even try, and look how kicks kick ass my house is style and stylish. Her selfies make her look like a goddess at all angles, and she gushes without sees over how much she loves being with her kids, who look angelic at all times and probably play silently in their rooms without her ever needing an iPad as babysitter. How does she do it, guys? She even has time to do her hair and makeup. Does does not compute. We all have one of these moms in our lives at one point or another. I have one in my social media feed who used to mom at me. She used to decorate at me. She used to take beautiful photos at me. She used to wear size zero jeans at me. She used to have a perfect life at me. Everything she was, did, had, or showed off felt like an attack on my life until I realized I was only one comparing her life to mine and admitting she was living up to a standard I have no desire or need to uphold. Okay. No, that's correct. Surprise, we're different people and we prioritize different things. She prioritized making things beautiful because it's what she values. There's nothing wrong with that. But I tend to prioritize authentic, authenticity, I can never say that word, over beauty, often to the point of embarrassment. And in real life is what I document because that is what I value. There's also nothing wrong with that. It wasn't her, in other words, it was me. More specifically, it was me and the comparison game I was playing. Pro tip. If you find yourself playing the comparison game, here are a few things you can do. Number one, realize you are the problem here. Other women is not comparing her story to yours. She's just telling hers in her way. Hello? Number two, remember that nothing or no family is perfect all the time. She's just choosing not to share the mess, and that's okay. Number three, the unfollow button is your friend. If someone or anyone makes you feel bad about your life on social media, stop following that person. Number four, resist the urge to tear the other person down out of your own insecurity. Don't send that passive aggressive email or don't send that passive aggressive email or message. Don't write an anonymous hurtful comment. The way we feel about other women says way more about us than it does about them. And lashes out just fuels hurt and misunderstanding. Number five, when you find yourself making those comparisons, immediately write down three things that you're grateful for in your own life. Gratitude and comparison don't get along very well. Okay. This is something I struggle with and will continue to fight against in my own life and business. What is right for you may not be right for someone else, and that really is okay. We can coexist in harmony as different types of mom with different priorities, beliefs, desires, thoughts, actions, and behaviors. But all too often we don't. Somewhere along the line, we decide that the way other people parent was everyone's business and that it was our duty as mom to let others know about it. Let's turn the culture around. Can I get honest with you? Like super honest. There are two groups of women I fear more than any other. They're also the two groups I love the most. They're my tribe, my clan, my family, and yet they're the ones I feel judged by the most. They're the ones who tend to be most cutting when they disagree with me. And they're generally the ones who send the negative emails and post the comments that leave me feeling sad. Excuse me. Who are they? Moms and Christians. Hello. I say this as both a mom and a Christian, and I've been spending a lot of time turning the finger inward to make sure I am a leader for change in these areas. It's not all of us within these groups, but it's enough to be scary and intimidating. The opposite of who we want to be if we desire to grow as people and as a business owners. After all, scary and intimidating are opposite of environment that will attract female business owners to the entrepreneurship stage. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be lumped into a group with people who cut each other down when they disagree. I don't want to have to worry that someone's going to take to the internet and slam my character if I go out on a limb to speak my own truth. I'm worried of reading social media posts from moms talking about how stupid another mom is for her choices about food, sleep, vaccinations, medicine, schools, and so on. Yet there's the mom culture we live in right now. Yet that's the mom culture we live in right now. Ladies, we are too hard on each other. I hate that someone out there will judge me each time I talk about the way I parent. I hate that our culture covers mothers in shame for their decisions. I hate that we're afraid to show each other the messiest side of our parenting for fear we'll be judged for it. Is there no place to just be honest? Is there no place where we have the ultimate right to decide what's best for our kids and then do it without input from others? I believe there's is such a place, but we have to create it. We have to lead. As moms, let's worry about what's right for other people's kids and focus on our own. Let's give some grace. Let's get off the judgment train and actually support each other. When we see a mom with a kid who is throwing a complete fit because she said no to the candy at the checkout counter, let's give her a fist bump and a glass of wine if you have one hiding in your purse. Instead of judging eye that says my kid would never act like that. There's enough bad in the world. Let's choose the good. More specifically, let's change the culture and love one on each other instead of comparing and judging. Okay. Give up your mom guilt. Because of current mom culture, for years I stayed silent about wanting something more than just being a mom. I tried all of blissfully happy stay at home mom and pretended to love it so hated it. I carried a lot of shame about admitting that I had changed my mind about wanting to be a stay at home mom. When you have kids, you completely lose the ability to do one thing at a time. And if you're not careful, you can completely lose sight of the person you were before they came along. I found myself on that road. I had choked back all the things I love because my kids became my sole focus. It all felt so easy and yet so hard. I thought I was supposed to have it all together to make things look perfect without so much as a bead of sweat and without the lurking feeling that there had to be more. Then came the mom guilt. Oh, mom guilt, I loathe thee. It's that sick feeling down deep in your belly that you're doing it all wrong, that you're messing up those tiny, innocent human beings you love with all your heart, but sometimes cannot stand to be around. It's hiding your honest feelings, like the fact that you'd rather be working than momming after about 5 minutes or so with your kids. It's comparing yourself to Jennifer, the homeroom mom, who you just know didn't have these same feelings because she's clearly getting it all right. I'm com- I'm convinced this gets guilt stems from how deeply we love our babies. Nothing brings out so much guilt as the deep desire to do motherhood right. We only get out we only get one shot at this, and we have no prior experience. What could go wrong? Yet there is nothing right about this guilt. If we let it, in fact, it can mess up both our lives and our children's lives. Putting away the lawnmower. My own mom was great. We weren't friends when I was growing up because she was my parent. She grounded me, guarded me, trained me, and even smacked me in my mouth when I dared ask her. And I don't blame her. There were times when was in high school that I thought I'd hate her, but I was caught up in my teenage anguish and guided by my underdeveloped prefrontal cortex, both of which caused me to make terrible decisions. My mom was a true person I needed in my life, but didn't appreciate until my mid 20s. She was always there for me to say the thing I needed to hear, even when I didn't want to hear it. What a gift. Well, my mom was not out when what my mom was not always there for was anything and everything I ever needed. She had her own life, responsibilities, and interests that didn't revolve around me or my brothers. And that was okay. There's no way my mom would tell you she had guilt over working or not being home at my every whim. She'd also tell you that when we were small, she did stay home with us, and she took pride in that. Stage in my childhood, she chose to do right for both her and our family. And she saw her responsibility in my life as making sure I grew up able to take care of myself, get a job, and be responsible. Job done. My mom was in real estate and she loved her job. I'm sure she would rather have shown a house than pack me a perfectly balanced lunch with a little note tucked inside. I'm positive she would have wanted to be with a client filling out a contract than at home washing and folding my clothes. So she didn't do the lunch or the laundry. Good thing she didn't have the internet to make her feel like crap about it. More important, it didn't make her less of a good mom. I'm a better person for the way she parented me, giving me the responsibility of making my own lunch and doing my own laundry. And I have zero resid, RESIDUAL anger over it. I cannot say it. Let's be honest, moms now have a different set of standards than our moms did. Did your mom watch you ride your bike out front every second you were out? I taught myself how to ride the bike. Did your mom watch you ride your bike out front every second you were out? No. Of course she didn't because she was in the house doing stuff and telling you not to come back inside until she called. And yet I felt the pressure to have my eyes on my three daughters every second they're outside. Least something happened and I get called negligent. I can see the comments and hear the rumblings. Where was her mom? Why wasn't she watching? Is what happens every time there's an accident involving a child. Other rocks at the mom involved because, of course, she could have prevented this whole thing if she just been there. Come on, ladies. They blame us for everything. Not dads, moms. It is a different world now. The parenting game has changed, and in my opinion, the standard has been raised past realistic. I simply do not have the time, energy, or desire to conform in all the ways a mom is supposed to. And I suspect that's our kids, and of course, we don't want them to get hurt, but we're being, oh, shoot, they say my connection unstable. Okay.